Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of our guests today, including Craig Button, standing by. Brought to you by our title sponsor, Able Auctions, ableauctions.ca. Just before Craig, Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox, unsigned. I have to agree with Donnie. I'd want a ring I could wear on a daily basis.
Yeah.
The rings have gotten too gaudy.
Yeah, expensive.
A simple gold band.
You got to put them in
little engraving there.
Donnie, you got to put them in a bank to protect them. I mean, come on.
Yep.
Safety deposit box. Those things, you don't want to lose those.
It is Wednesday, and joining us now, TSN Scouting Director Craig Button. Canucks opening tonight at home versus Edmonton. There he is. Craig, how are you, sir?
Uh-oh.
I'm good, no, but I have a Stanley Cup ring from 1999, and it's a pretty big ring. It's not anywhere as big as the one the Vegas Golden Knights just got, but I'm not a big jewelry person. The ring, and it sits big on your finger. It's in a safe deposit box.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
like that's where it sits. And
Bingo.
And you know what? I wear it. I wear it when I'm at any Dallas Stars function or anything when we get together for anything involving that. My wife has a beautiful pendant that they got for the partners and spouses, and which is really nice. But it's a symbol of something that you achieved. But I don't wear it anywhere. It literally sits in a safe deposit box, which is kind of like, geez, it's a nice piece of jewelry, but not really something that's wearable. It really isn't. Yeah. And it's almost like they want to see how big it can get. Pretty soon, it's going to just be one big necklace. It's going to go right up your chest here, and it's just going to sit here.
Or just make it the whole hand, like a Michael Jackson glove, maybe. You know, that's coming.
Donnie, you're onto something here. You could put the diamonds and everything what everything represents. Number 1 is for the first Stanley Cup. 2 is whatever, you can, Donnie, like what you need to do is make sure that you trademark this idea. Go to a jeweler, get a trademark.
I'll get on it. Hey, Craig, Blackhawks come back. They beat the Penguins 4-2. Conor Bedard, 1 assist, 11 shot attempts. What did he show you in his NHL debut?
That he is undaunted by the NHL level, that he is, we know how confident he is, and he should be confident. He's got tons of skill. He's got tons of success coming into the NHL, and he's got an assuredness about himself and his play that, translates. And certainly in the game last night, that's all I was looking to see. Obviously, he had some chances to score. He made a really nice play on the goal, but he had the puck on his stick. And he goes, "I'm shooting it because I'm the best option. I'm going to make plays. I'm going to work in different areas." He wasn't looking to give up the puck. He didn't look like he was in any way, shape, or form, sitting there being hesitant or ready to just kind of go, I'll just play safe. He played the game that I've seen him play for years, and that's only going to get better as he gets more comfortable playing.
Canucks opening up tonight against Edmonton. Craig, your TSN Scouting Director. What are the Canucks getting in Sam Lafferty?
They're getting a really good, energetic, player that skates, kills penalties. They signed McCabe. They wanted to get more speed in their lineup, more speed to help the penalty kill. Sam's going to be able to help that in that regard. He plays with a tenacity. Rick Tocchet has talked about staying on the puck, staying in the puck battles along the boards. Well, Sam will be a real good role model for that. He'll get some chances because of his speed and that tenacity. He's not a natural finisher, but, you're not looking for him to be a big-time point producer, but what you want him to do is kind of set an agenda, a template for how you want your team to play, and to wear out your opponent. You can wear out defensemen. You can make the teams play in their own zone more, which frees it up and softens them up. So when you do put your skill out there, maybe they don't have as much enthusiasm or energy to give 100%, and that's why you need depth deeper down your lineup, and certainly Sam gives them that.
Craig, the big story out here is Conor Garland given permission by the Canucks for his agent to talk to teams about a possible trade. My question to you, Craig, they've been trying to move him for a year and a half. What can an agent do to try to mix it up and change it and get it going in the direction of a possible trade?
Yeah, well, I mean, what the agent can do is number one, try to convince a team that Connor would be a good fit for them. It's really hard now with how tight the money is in the cap, and that's going to evaporate next season to a great extent, which will free up a lot more player movement. It's difficult with Connor with a salary cap hit just under $5 million with the term on it, and teams being right up against the cap. So what the agents are able to do is understand, and maybe it's just about Connor needs a different opportunity. Maybe there's some. To me, it almost looks like a dollar in, dollar out transaction.
Yeah.
Is there another player out there on another team that could benefit from a change? Just like Connor, the feeling is he would benefit from a change. So that's where the agent can try to work as an intermediary to try to affect this, transaction, and it's important. The agents are really important in terms of doing business, but it's difficult right now for teams to be able to move players, and there certainly would be interest in Conor Garland, but when teams, the vast majority of them are up against the cap, it becomes real challenging. That's what it is, and it's nobody's fault. And certainly Connor feels that he can do some more. What did he have? Just under 50 points last year.
Yeah.
He's a productive player, and I think that Vancouver probably wants a little bit different type of player in that role. I think that's where the agent and teams trying to work to affect a change that can meet the players' needs and the team's needs. It may be out there, but it certainly isn't easy to find.
Craig, one of our poll questions, are the Canucks going to make the playoffs this year? When you look at this roster, what do you see? Do you see a playoff team?
I don't, but that doesn't mean they can't be. I mean, they have a really good goaltender. I mean, one of the things that's plagued the Vancouver Canucks, and I'm talking just from an overall sense, they've had stretches of really good play over the last number of years under three different coaches. The key for the Vancouver Canucks to make the playoffs is to stretch those good periods of strong play and make it longer. Like where they fall off, and this is where their depth. And I go back to the blue line. Like, think about tonight. No Carson Soucy. So you start to look at what the pairs look like on your bottom pair. Tonight. I mean, you got a top team coming in, and it's not just not having Soucy. Rick Tocchet's going to really have to manage his defense pairs. He's already probably looking and going, I got to play my top pair lots. I got to play my second pair lots. And you got Draisaitl and McDavid coming up against one of them. That becomes a real challenge. And I think that's the other part of it. I think they've made incremental improvements on their blue line, but I think there's still big gaps, in the top four. I think there's still two defensemen short of two good pairs, and I think tonight will really, really show that, because Rick Tocchet knows. Hey, listen, I can have Hughes and Roenick playing against McDavid. Well, that leaves Myers and Cole playing against Draisaitl. It's not ideal, and that's what runs you into problems. And until that blue line depth improves, that's where they run into some problems. A healthy Thatcher Demko, I mean, we know that he can clean up a lot of the mistakes and be a safety net, so to speak, pun intended. But it would be a surprise to me. But if they can get some stretches of good play for longer periods of time, they could very well do it, because they have talent up front, and they've shown signs, but just not been able to make it to the point where you need those points at critical times to be a playoff team.
I hate to do this to you, Craig. Running out of time here. Important subject. Does the NHL really have to ban Pride tape?
Here's what I would say. Don't hate to do that to me. I'm happy to speak to it, Donnie and Rick. To me, there was no problem, and they put a solution that created a bigger problem. I don't get it. I don't get the understand. Like, if a player wants to go out and use Pride tape as a show of support and allyship, what's wrong with that? That's all we're trying to do. We want to support and show allyship for all kinds of different things. We think about hockey fights cancer. So we've all been touched by cancer through our families, through our friends at some point in our lives, and no matter what. And guess what? The LGBTQ plus community has all touched our lives too. So all we want to do when we support Hockey Fights Cancer, we're supporting people that are going through, cancer and trying to recover from it. And we're just trying to support the LGBTQ plus community by doing the same thing. And you know what? It makes no sense to implement a policy that prevents people from showing support and allyship. It makes no sense.
Well said, Craig, and I didn't mean to rush you along there, but well said, and we appreciate it. By the way, I think you've been talking about the Canucks defense needing to improve for the last 45 years. So one of these days it will happen. Hopefully soon for Canuck fans.
It will. Hey, listen, Tommy Vilander is going to be a really good player. Hunter Brashevich, Sawyer Minyo. They drafted some players. You got to be patient with them. But they know what they got to do. The trade for Roenick helps, and you're right. But that's part of the process of trying to become a team that you don't have to ask, could they be a playoff team? When you start to say, how good can they be once they are in the playoffs?
Outstanding, Craig. Next week we'll talk to you. Enjoy the Canucks in Edmonton tonight.
I will. Thanks. You too.